Welcome to another episode of the Popko Project podcast. And tonight I am joined by American Television. What's up, guys?
Hey,
What's up? How's it
hello.
going, Popko?
My kids went back to school this week and they're already sick, and I think they've gotten me sick.
That
Sounds
will
about
happen.
right.
I almost emailed to reschedule. I think out of the 245 episodes I've done, I think I rescheduled twice. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Two of us are dads, so we know the deal. You get the germs start hitting week one, and then you're like, "Why are you still home? Please go back to school."
Yeah, I can't. This has never happened this early before. Like they literally today is Thursday. They went back on Monday and Tuesday. So it's yeah.
Our
I mean,
boys, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just saying our boys have been back in school for 2 weeks and we've been playing allergy or cold like
All right.
since like day one.
Yeah, it never fails. It never fails. But happy to be here. I'm excited. You guys have some news. A new EP is coming out, set to drop on September 19th, called "You're Not Alone."
Yeah.
That's right.
It's
Psyched
exciting.
about that too.
It's exciting. Yeah, yeah. 6 songs. It's a follow-up to was it Scars before that?
That's right. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I was unfamiliar with your band until your PR team sent it to me, and I'm like, I gotta talk to these guys. These guys seem like a lot of fun. Music's cool, and it's right up my alley. So again, thanks for doing this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thanks for the invite.
Where are you located?
I'm in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Oh, cool. All
I
right.
always say it's well, technically I'm right in the middle of those two cities, but those are like the obviously Scranton. Everyone knows from The Office.
Yeah.
So I work in Scranton too. So I guess that's like
Paper company. Just kidding.
there is a paper company nearby. So the company I work for at one point owned a newspaper,
Hmm.
uh, a billboard company, and radio stations. I work for their radio stations. They sold the newspapers and they sold the billboards just a month or two ago. So
Right on.
yeah, so kind of paper, kind of ish, but yeah. Tell me a little bit about American television history, all
Uh,
that kind of fun stuff.
sure, I'd love to. So yeah, I'm Steve. I sing and play guitar in the band. Brian is also a longtime member. Hey, Brian, what's up? And then Chris is a recent join. But between Brian, myself, and Edwin, who wasn't able to join tonight, we've been a band for uh, over 10 years. We've got a couple full lengths, and we're from the DC area. So we've been playing together for quite some time. And, we signed to Smart Punk in 2023. They helped us put out our previous record, Scars, and then now they're helping us put out this new EP, which we're psyched about. So we figured we'd hop on the horn and get to know some folks and tell people about it.
Well, I'm happy to inform you you will have five new viewers,
Hey,
Beautiful.
listeners. I hope it's more than that, but I like to
It's all
joke.
good.
Yeah, I like to joke. Um, well, 10 years, I mean, that's a long time considering the fact that you got through COVID and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we had to sort of become a virtual band at that point and tried to get creative. I don't know, Brian, like you want to tell them a little bit about our
yeah.
covers and
I
stuff?
mean, I think like everyone else that was a band, we kind of went from seeing each other every week and having rehearsal to not seeing each other and doing things like this, Zoom and chatting with our friends about our band, and kind of were at a standstill for a little bit. It kind of pressed us all to figure out how to do home recording, which was not something in our wheelhouse, but in uh, recent years, things have come a long way, and the technology is there that we were able to write some songs, do some cover songs, uh, still get together, every other week or so on Zoom and just kind of shoot the shit and check in on each other because we're friends first. But yeah, it was a tough time. A lot of bands didn't make it through. Some venues didn't make it through, unfortunately. But yeah, we consider ourselves fortunate. We do this band as a hobby. It's not our prime gig for any of us. We do it in our free time from family life and regular 9 to 5 jobs. So uh, I think that was part of it as well. We didn't rely on it as a source of income or anything like that. So that allowed us to kind of get through okay.
Right. Well, it's even easier to kind of like just let it fall away because it's like it's not your full-time thing. You don't have to do it.
Yeah. I mean, we could have went that route, but I think we all kind of benefit mental health wise and
Yeah.
just like for the friendship and stuff. Like I think it's really important that, as guys in our 40s, we're like, we should probably hang out every once in a while.
Yeah. I
But I
feel that.
remember like when we started getting back to it, our friend Craig was like, "Hey, like my band has been practicing like on this farm. Would you guys want to see if you could do that? It's outdoors." This is like, during still like, should we be near each other,
Right.
or like it's okay to get a little close to like a certain group. So we had our first practice and we ran a bunch of power out to like a field and threw down some rugs and had our first practice post COVID in the middle of a corn, like a middle of a farm.
That's amazing. I feel like a lot of bands I talked to, they kind of almost thrived through COVID. It gave them a chance to kind of, recollect, reevaluate, focus on writing new material. Like it just kind of was instead of constantly being out playing shows and traveling and touring and all that kind of stuff, it gave them a chance to just kind of like, all right, let's take a breath and kind of figure out what direction we want to go or, what we want to write or what we want to, our future to look like once we get through this.
Yeah, that's kind of what our last LP was born out of, right?
Yeah.
So it's like just a lot of collaboration and then finally getting a chance to come together and actually make it all make sense in person and
Right.
make sure it felt good.
And how did that album do? It was 2023, right?
Yeah. Uh,
Scars.
yeah, it was great. I think like, people, there's a couple tracks on there. I mean, we still play a lot of that record live, but as far as like people's support, I think a lot of people like the song Moments that's on that record. This is it kind of was about coming back to being together. So I think that makes a lot of sense that that was one of our tracks that we considered a single coming off that. Brian, was there or Chris? Sorry, I keep calling him. But any other tracks on there that like you think are still like hitting with folks?
I think the Great Divide is
Yeah.
always going to be. No, I'm sorry, that's not even on that record.
No, I mean, I think Bittersweet was one we made a video for um, that I think still hits. There's a song called Snakes on there. We made a video for that one as well. That's kind of about, corruption in the government. And I think that still continues to hit today.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Maybe
Yeah.
forever.
Oh, forever. I talk about that a lot. Talked to a guy from Fox Lake. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that band or not, but um, yeah, I mean, one of the songs is just like the government's not your friend, and
Fact.
I don't think we'll ever see things change in our lifetime.
No.
We're too far gone. We're too far gone.
Yeah, I
False
mean,
fact.
we have songs that are kind of like work is not your friend as well.
It's true.
Like, uh, employers and corporations and things like that are not your friend. The government is not your friend. Those are some common themes for us. Yeah.
All we have is
Yeah,
each other, right?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
talking to one of my kids the other day, and it sort of like occurred to me in conversation that we've passed the point of like our parents' generation has destroyed our future, and it's up to our generation to kind of set it right again. I was looking at my 14-year-old. I was like, sorry, buddy. We're kind of, our clock's running out too. Like, you guys got to fix this crap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I mean, I don't think they did it on purpose. Maybe I don't know. It's
Oh,
just
no.
it's weird. It's very weird, and it's funny to kind of blame them.
Just
It,
think every generation feels like they need to fix the mistakes of the previous ones, and I feel like we all fail at that at our own level.
well, it's so hard, right? I mean, especially with the advancements in technology and the internet and how we're so connected yet so divided. It just I don't even know how we navigate it.
That's, I mean, we're we think we're fixing stuff, but we definitely fuck shit up in the process. We're trying to fix right now. It's a nightmare. out there, and like it's hard to explain it to kids in a way that you are not putting fear in them. But like,
Yeah.
Chris and I are parents, and like it's tough being a parent, and it's tough being a human, just like someone who like has humanity and wants to just mostly like help everyone have equality and flourish. Like it's a tough world when there's people taking us in steps backwards. So
Yeah, I think we have it. I don't want to like, give us ourselves a pity party, but I feel like we have it the hardest because our parents' generation, right? They lived a life without the internet at all and all those advancements. And when that kind of hit, like they were able to say, like, I don't want to adapt. I don't have to. Like, I'm on my way out as far as maybe like their career or heading toward retirement or whatever it might be. And then us, like we kind of had half our lives without the technology and the internet when we, rode our bikes all day and all that kind of stuff. But then half our lives with the internet. So we're kind of like, you know, both sides of the fence there. And we have to adapt, or if we don't adapt, we're gonna be left behind. And then our kids, obviously, they're right out of the gate. They're, a tablet in their hand, basically.
Yeah, you're right. We are the generation that had to adapt, and now that we're where we are in life, like in our aging, like I'm at a point where I want to go back to the old days. I want to turn all this shit off. And
Yeah, same.
oddly enough, fun fact, something I keep on my Google Calendar tonight at 2:14 a.m. will be the anniversary of Skynet going online for all you Terminator fans.
Oh, well.
Uh,
Well, we're heading there, man. We're heading there.
aren't we?
truth.
Chris, if I were you, I would just live in whatever room you're in. I would never want to leave that room.
I have been in this room since 8 a.m. actually, and I love it, but but I spend way too much time in here.
It's just so colorful and happy. I would never want to leave.
I don't want to leave for like the first 10 hours, and then I start feeling like maybe I should get up and go be a part of my family or something for a while.
Oh man. Well, let's talk about the new EP. The title track, "You're Not Alone," kind of feels like a rallying cry. Was that always the intention, or did the message evolve as you wrote that song?
Yeah,
I
I
think.
think oh,
Go ahead, Steve. Yeah.
I was I think like we've all we just talked about it a moment ago, this sort of like heads in devices, like not riding our bikes, like, not doing not commuting with other people. There's that feeling of aloneness that like a lot of people face on a day to day. And this song, you know, scratches that, and also just the fact that like if you are angry or upset with the state of the world, like those feelings, at least we can try to validate them and sing a song about it that make you go, oh, there are other people about out there yelling about this, and hopefully it is a rally cry for people who are upset with the current situation or need a community to come together. And that's why we named it "You Are Not Alone."
Am I saying it wrong? The songs "You Are Not Alone" and the EP's "You're Not Alone."
It's all "You Are Not Alone."
Okay, I'm combining "You Are."
Yeah, most
Fool.
people would.
Yeah.
I,
Sorry.
we just decided to make it longer. We're
Okay.
we're really good at syllables. Our band is American television, so we've got
Talk about that. What's that about?
Brian. You want to take it?
I was
No.
not in the band when you picked the name,
All
so
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's
So,
out.
it's funny where we are today with a reality show president for the second time, but like I've always, I think like during that era, call it like early 2000s, when like reality television started to spike, and you had like things like the Jersey Shore and like Real Housewives, and like almost like the most toxic people being rewarded for being toxic. And so like it kind of grossed me out. And I think like the idea behind the band name is that like, you know, a lot of people are, like it's kind of putting themselves on the worst parts of themselves on display. And so I just wanted to, it's almost like a cheeky, it's not meant to be like a source of pride. It's mostly being like, yeah, this is like American television. It's all just
Yeah.
like people who are self-absorbed and into, whatever toxic things they're trying to convey on television for a couple of for $1 million or whatever they're getting paid.
Isn't that frustrating though? You see people like that and they're famous or, even like these TikTok influencers or whatever you want to call it. Um, there's I'm gonna rag on my nephew a little bit. He does like ASMR
Hmm.
and hundreds of thousands of followers and views and all that kind of shit. And like here I am, like I feel like I'm like, doing something valuable. I'm trying to share, original music with people and it gets nowhere near the level of engagement that he's getting whispered into a microphone. Like,
You gotta
doesn't
start
that bother
touching,
you?
you gotta start touching balloons and shit.
I thought about like maybe I'll do just like a podcast one time in ASMR and see how it goes. But I mean, as musicians who are like creating original music, is that like frustrating to a degree? Like, or is it just fun? Who cares?
think in our age bracket, it's probably frustrating. I just think we don't do it like the younger generation does, and like there's not the audience and the appetite for a lot of this stuff these days. And finding new ways to reach an audience, but not giving into like your point about like adjusting. I don't want to spend all my time making reels and TikTok videos and stuff. I want to make music. But like I mean, I watch my kids and they're very intentional and like have the desire to make content. Like they've kind of grown up on that already and seen that and like, hey, kids make videos and 10,000 other kids watch them and that's neat. Like they're videos about rubbing balloons on your head or whatever you're doing and like that's not neat to me.
Right.
But it's neat to the younger generation at this point.
I
Yeah, I
feel
guess you're
like
right.
our parents said the same thing about the stuff that we liked when we were kids, and we just all sound like
Yeah.
grumpy old men.
I, I,
Not wrong. Nintendo is my life.
Right,
you're right.
your life. How did your mom feel about it?
Not great.
Yeah,
But me and Princess Zelda are pretty tight still to this day. So
I think the difference from my point of view is like there's a lot of like um applauding of like regurgitating content, like copying what somebody's done or just taking a video clip and then showing your reaction to it. Like to me, that's like it's just leeching off of someone else's creativity, like if it starts with somebody like it could be someone who didn't even mean to become famous, like the I Like Turtles kid, and then somebody's merchandising it, and
Right.
like it's just it becomes like it's like theft, and applauding that is like not what I want to see in creativity. I want to see like people applauding originality. So like when for it's a while ago now, but like Vine was a pretty creative platform for video where people were creating like stuff in the confines of like 22 seconds or something like that. It created some interesting comedy, and I think Reels is built off of that. But there's a lot more like I don't know mediocrity on Instagram Reels and TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to shit on, people that are making content because a lot of it's really funny. There's a lot of funny people out there. And I mean, I guess I mean, how is that different from, writing a song? Maybe it's not, but it just seems like a time suck as opposed to like listening to music. Um, yeah, it's just different, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we all got to become some video. We're all video editors in 2025, right?
I am a very poor editor. I'm thankful for AI in that sense
Right on.
to a degree. But the EP itself, it sounds tailor made for the times that we're in. Exhausted, divided, and loud, and loud. And was this record written in a reaction to the world around us, or is that like a personal thing from you guys?
both is probably the answer to that. It's our personal reaction to the world around us. Um, there's like I think we talked about. There's songs about work not being your friend. I feel like we always have one or two of those on all of our records. As we that's where we spend a third of our time or more for all of us. So um, it's part of our daily lives. Obviously, the way the world is going. We feel some inspiration to write about that. Living here in Northern Virginia in the shadow and close to all of those things, and it's really hard to escape. And um, it definitely had an influence on the writing of this record for sure.
Yeah, I think the lyrics are pretty dark, but like we kind of do this thing where we wrap those in a poppy melodic sound. So like to our mom and dad's ears when they take their one listen to our record, they're like, that was great. But then if you sit with it and you actually like the album will come with a lyric sheet and we put those lyrics online and everything. Hopefully people like actually dig a little deeper and
Connect, yeah.
yeah, and connect with it.
I feel like one of your goals was to empower people who feel unseen. Can you talk about the importance of representation and inclusivity in the punk scene right now?
Absolutely. I think like, you know, for the first time in a long time, I would say punk rock is not just saying unity, like you're seeing a lot more of it. I grew up in the 90s and like, Blink 182 dick jokes and all this stuff. It's not a very inclusive way to like bring people who are not just like cis white males into the conversation. So, we're allies to, we have lots of friends from all different walks of life and hopefully our message doesn't seem like we're co-opting it, but we see ourselves as allies and we want to make sure like songs like Stronger represent the struggle of like women against society, like which is got this male dominated point of view. And you know, we're very open people and we've played with tons of bands with all different genders and sexual orientations. And that stuff is like I think in punk rock, like you're seeing like it may be one of the safest places in America right now is just like there's more unity and acceptance amongst punks than like I've ever seen before.
Has that always been the case with punk to a degree?
To a degree. I mean, I think relative to maybe the full world, for lack of a better term, it's a safer space, but it's not like there's not, male dominated, cis white male dominated aspects of it. Um, that, some of those marginalized folks they come here to find a place, but also some of the same problems that they're running away from, they run into here as well.
Gotcha. And there seems to be like a strong sense of resilience across your entire catalog. How do you balance anger and melody without losing either of those?
Uh, we grew up listening to a band called Avail, and they do it better than anybody else, balancing that anger and melody. I know Steve would consider them a huge influence, and I definitely do as well. On the songs we write and kind of what we try to do as a band.
Yeah. Um, Having grown up in like that early 90s, like just discovering punk in the early 90s, like everything that was happening then was poppier, right? And like even when I was listening to hardcore music at that time, like I eventually sort of strayed away from it because it became so like masculine. There were like fights. I used to go to CBGBs when I was like 16, 17 years old. And like, it would be like, oh, that crew is here. They're gonna beat the other crew up. And it was like, what? Why? I'm here to see music. I'm not here to like get stabbed.
Yeah.
so so like so I always gravitated more toward melody. And then growing up in like a pretty blue collar family, my dad's a butcher. My mom was like a school secretary when I was younger. And like just kind of seeing that life isn't always easy. I think they really worked hard to provide for me. But like, I've always been sort of leery of power, whether it's the government or corporations. And like, I definitely would chalk it up to my dad being like, a union guy. So to me, it's like, you know, it's up to people who are like on the ground level to like push and fight back toward power. So doing that and then taking the melody of the music that I used to listen to, bash it together, and you've got like a melodic punk rock, angry sound.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's cool that your dad was a butcher, your mom worked for a school. Um, I feel like we're losing that um, locally owned and operated hometown business as the years, go on, especially with like, the Walmarts and the Amazons, and it's like I think we're too far gone with that too because of the convenience of it all.
Yeah, I would take your thought a little bit further and say it's already gone.
Yeah.
It's been lost for a while. I feel like at least where, in my town or and many other places, I'm sure.
Hey man,
Yeah.
when I get off your exit, Chris, it's like the mecca of all corporations, and then you go about a mile in, and Chris is like in a nice little neighborhood. Like it's pretty funny. You get off the exit, it's like, Walmart, Target, gas station, Pizza Hut, like every single corporation.
It's
Yeah.
weird. I don't think this is a rabbit hole we should venture too far down in, but it is funny when you see like your community or like your township how they will absolutely invite these chains, but the the county itself, the board, even the community itself does not invite, welcome, and prop up smaller businesses. We've seen in this town, hundreds of small businesses, whether they're restaurants or something else, come up and the community doesn't support it,
Hmm.
for whatever reason. But there is a McDonald's on every corner, and on the far corner from that is a Wendy's, and then there's a Starbucks. Like the same stuff keeps popping up in every like 3 mile cube around here, but there's no more smaller, like family owned independent businesses here.
Well, it's convenience, right? It's the rich get richer. It's kind of frustrating. I mean, so I've spent my entire working career as an adult, like in media, and a lot of time, well, the majority of it was working for a locally owned and operated media company, and therefore I was working with locally owned and operated businesses too, um, which I love. Like the helping like my primary job is in advertising, and to help the little guy, quote unquote, succeed is like really special. But it just and all these places like you mentioned Wendy's and McDonald's and shit like that. They don't spend the kind of advertising in those hometown local markets like the pizza place does or the local bar or whatever it might be. It's just very frustrating.
Yeah. I look, I used to live in Brooklyn for about 8 years, and like one thing that I feel Brooklyn was able to do. I mean, I go back every now and then. It's changed a lot, but it changes a lot in cities all the time. But I think the storefronts are smaller, and it was already congested. So like what that kind of does is it keeps big box stores and corporations out. So like you did see a lot of like really like niche mom and pop restaurants. You did see like little bespoke furniture stores and stuff like that. And that going into those stores a lot of times comes with like a premium. Like you have to pay a little bit more, but like hopefully if you have the means, it's like, okay, well, I'm supporting small business. And but obviously with the convenience of Amazon, like they are able to take a bite out of anyone's business. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty rough.
There's always that saying like Target's not sponsoring your kid's little league team.
True that.
It's kind of I don't know. We're not going to fix it tonight. So
Brian might be able to if we just let him take it away and run with it.
what's your easy solution, Brian?
Don't go to those places.
That is an easy solution, yes.
Yeah.
It just makes life a lot more difficult. It
Yeah,
sucks.
it does. It does.
I'm gluttonous for Amazon. Amazon like controls my life. My screensaver's on, but right before I spun this chair around, I was buying shit on Amazon. But I pick, I for what it's worth, I pick my battles, and like Walmart is just something that I don't want to give them a dime of my money. And that's one of those small hills I choose to battle on. But Amazon is something out of the sheer convenience of it, I just have not been able to let go of.
Yeah, it's hard. A piece of my pool broke and I needed like a fix fast. And I noticed it at night, so I had to wait till the next day regardless. And I went on Amazon and it was going to take an extra day. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll go to the local pool store, locally owned and operated. And I'm happy I did it, but it was the piece I needed was literally $10 more than what it was on Amazon, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't
And
know.
I think that's just the cost of owning that small business, like in a brick and mortar environment compared to like a warehouse where that $10 extra just doesn't mean anything to Amazon, but it means everything to the small business owner.
Right.
And in a lot of cases, I'm fortunate in my life and I'm happy to do that and support small businesses. There's just very few around here that are there for me to even support at this point.
Yeah.
I think what they need is AI. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, wait until 2:14 a.m. Skynet's coming back.
But they don't want to adapt that much either. It's hard because a lot of those places have been around for a long time and they're older and I guess it's going to take, our generation or the next generation to, if we take over those businesses to take them over and modernize them to a degree and keep them alive.
It's
Yeah.
What do you guys
music
think about the
store.
data centers coming around all over the place?
Well,
They're
we
all
got
here. Every single one of them is right down the street from us. So
Really?
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
pretty dense
Northern
population.
Virginia is like the capital of that stuff. Where Edwin, our bass player, lives out in Loudoun County. There's so many, and there's new ones popping up all the time. Yeah, like local politicians, like state senators and state representatives, not even on the national level, are like their platform that's is running against uh, more data centers. It's that kind of like niche local issue um, here because there's so many.
I
Yeah.
saw a headline the other day that was like it was talking about how I can't remember what state it was in, but they were talking about how like, oh, you should turn your air conditioners to like warmer because it's really putting a strain on the power grid. And I'm like, well, there's data centers like gobbling up power to process like AI
Yeah.
images of like a dog eating a taco or something. And it's like you're telling us not to put our thermostat down one more degree.
Yeah.
So it is kind of absurd that it's like, it's all in service. We're talking about like the corporations and stuff. It's all in service of that. They're the ones that make the money. We're just living off of it.
Yeah. I think there's two. There was definitely one, I think, like maybe 40 minutes from me. I think the deal is done and it's in the process of it will be built. And then there's one probably a half hour from me north, also in the whole process. It's just kind of crazy. And they're saying like it's going to increase your electric bill and your water bill and all these kind of things. And I'm over here like, should I have gotten solar panels on my roof 4 years ago when they tried selling it to me? I don't
You know,
know.
when they were at everyone's door every day. Just checking to see if you have a solar guy yet.
Well, yeah, well, they just seem so scammy. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it makes
they were
sense,
here.
but
They were knocking on our door during COVID nonstop. And the whole thing about it, that to your point, it felt scammy, was they were like, it's totally free. Like
yeah,
every single guy that came to the door was like, it's free.
yeah,
There's nothing you need to do. Just let me put it on your roof. And, nothing's for free at the end of
nothing's
it.
for free.
So,
Yeah.
I get free tickets to baseball games to our local. It's the Yankees AAA team, and I get free tickets, but then I end up spending $100 just on food and drinks, and nothing's free.
I had to join this band to get free tickets to their shows, and I still have to pay for drinks.
Well, Chris, since you said that, this is your first like original material with them. How did your voice and songwriting kind of shape this new EP?
Well, I don't really want to talk about how my voice shaped it, but
Well, your voice in the room, maybe. I don't know.
from a guitar perspective, it's been a lot of fun. We were kind of unpacking this earlier, and like I spent a lot of time kind of playing on my own, like in this room. I took a break from being in bands for a long time, and you know, actually, to the earlier point, COVID kind of gave me a springboard to get back into playing music, and I think I met you guys like at some point during that time. Um, and so I was writing a lot of music by myself, and then teaming up with these guys and having new creative partners in that like really helped me grow a little bit. It challenged me to, you know, to think about the song as a whole, not just whatever I want to noodle on with the guitar. So it was a lot of fun. Like I brought a bunch of ideas and I kind of it was a fun process to watch like what, you know, I would bring like a chorus or an intro or whatever the case may be, and I would kind of give it to these guys and watch what they could make it grow into, and that was a lot of fun for this record.
And has he been a good addition for you guys?
No, no, not at
Mediocre at best. Yeah.
I am probably Brian's biggest regret in this band.
I it's been awesome. I think you know, Chris's guitar playing is you know, again, Chris is saying we were unpacking it earlier, but like I'm a pretty basic rhythm guitarist. Like I've got a Green Day poster behind me. It's my son's, but but I, I'm a power chord, very simple player, and I rely a lot on my vocal melody. So to have Chris come in and be able to, if you listen to the opening riff on "You Are Not Alone," if you listen to several of the leads throughout the other songs on the EP, it's just like none of that would be present, and the songs wouldn't be as full without it. So I think it's been such a fantastic addition. Love you, Chris.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Chris, if you want to sign off, we'll find out what they really think.
Oh yeah, no, they'll tell you. Don't worry.
I think I read that you guys have played some festivals like Fest and even Warped Tour this past summer.
Yeah, so through Smart Punk, they did like a pop-up tent where half of it was them selling their record catalog, and then they had a stage on the other half of their tent. They had some like School of Rock uh, bands come, from the local area, so younger kids playing cover songs, which were super tight. Somebody did Chop Suey by System of a Down. It was like tighter than we could play it. But yeah, we were able to play there, kind of, not on one of the main Warp Tour stages, but at Warp Tour. We got the wristbands, to show around and get backstage and hang out, and it was super cool. It was super hot. Got a little sunburnt, but yeah, it was a fun experience.
Yeah, like they flipped the stage from School of Rock to like a few bands that they had picked, and so we were one of them. And you know, I think each band probably had like about 100 people watching them. I mean, we got to go backstage for a few bands, and like to see that crowd, that was insane. Like we're talking about 30,000 people or something. So that was pretty wild. But you know, we got our experience. Like I went to Warped Tour about 5 times when I was a kid, I think, and like never thought I'd be able to say I played it in any capacity. So to just have that opportunity, I'm like eternally grateful for that. It's cool.
Was this the first year it was back since it kind of took a
Yeah,
break?
yeah,
It's one of those things you don't know what you have till it's gone.
yeah. They only did. I think there was only three. The third one hasn't happened yet. Or is it Orlando that hasn't happened, or is it? Yeah. So it was here and then in
Long
California, and then
Beach.
there's one in Orlando, I think in November. But they've already announced that they're doing it here in DC again next year, and I think they announced Long Beach as well. So I don't know if they're going to add more dates, but it's definitely it'll be back next year too.
In Scranton here, they had a thing called the Road to Warp Tour.
Yeah,
I feel like it was happening the same weekend as the Washington date. I thought it was when I read the Road to Warp Tour. I thought it was kind of be like the week prior, or kind of leading up to it. But I think it was almost the same time. Um, but that was a cool thing they did here too, because a lot of those bands were really great. And then they put a lot of local um, artists on as well.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool. That's one thing, you know, I can't say I knew every band on Warped Tour this year. Like I really didn't know a lot of them. But But like one thing that they always did when it was like in previous incarnations is just like they actually brought in bands that were unknown. So like, I see us as sort of one of those bands. Like I got to see Sum 41 at Warped Tour when they played a small stage, and I don't think they were quite what they were. I think they just played their last show ever, but like they weren't, they were brand new. And so to
Mhm.
see them like, and then a few months later, like see them on MTV, I was like, oh my God, I just saw that band. So kind of wild that that can happen. And Warped Tour was always a vehicle for those smaller bands to get that opportunity. I think it's awesome.
That's always a cool feeling. The town I'm from, kind of Breaking Benjamin was born out of our area. So like I was going to see Breaking Benjamin when it was just Ben Burnley but by himself, and then it kind of adapted after that. But it's always cool to see like, oh, I remember I was there. There was 10 people there, you know?
Yeah,
But
I think my I grew up in Long Island, and the scene there was going off pretty crazy in the early 2000s with the emo boom and stuff like that. So, I think like Taking Back Sunday is a band that still continues on to this day. But uh, Glassjaw was a pretty heavy hardcore band that I used to go see all the time, but not from Long Island. I still think it's amazing. I saw Dashboard when he was playing with an acoustic alone the first time he came through, and nobody knew what was going on. And then it was like the second time he came through, it was 300 people there and everyone knew every word. And then
yeah,
the next time he came through, it was like a giant venue. So it's just crazy how quickly that sort of that virality of like his music caught on. But I got to see it firsthand, which I always thought was cool.
yeah, I'll never forget being introduced to Dashboard by a friend of mine in 2000, was it 2000 or 2001? Craig Wilson was the kid's name. And I'll always remember him for that band.
Thanks, Craig. Is he one of the five listeners we're going to get from this?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
I
if he
hope
listens or
so.
not.
Craig, if you're listening, thanks for checking us out.
Yeah. You said that these songs are a reminder to work to live, not live to work. What does that look like for you personally as a band balancing, life and everything in between?
Bullshit. I work way too much.
I take the opposite. I I will do my 9 to 5. I close my laptop. I don't have a corporate device. The it stops the second the day stops, and that's just the way I live it. And then whatever money that provides me, I like tinkering with my mountain bike. I like, making music and going on tour. So that money goes either back into this project or into something. And then my wife and I and my son, we travel, try to do like a big trip every few years, and sort of regional stuff for the years between those. So yeah, we try to live life the best we can because you only get one. So
Yeah.
that's my move.
Yeah, it goes by fast too. And you never know when it's going to be over. That's the scary part. And I never really understood that until I had kids, and kind of the value of life and the value of time because, they're only young for so long and for so many years and you can only be Santa Claus for however many years it is. Like, was it 10? Probably less than that now with the internet.
What? You're Santa Claus?
Not me. Not me. I think,
I,
Brian, I think you're the guy.
yeah, you're pretty damn close, bro.
I'll
Have you
tell
ever
my,
volunteered as Santa, Brian? But you should probably look into that.
Yeah, I could be a mall Santa.
you can get paid good money for that.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like I've talked to a band who had a guy who did that as like a part-time thing.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's good money.
Yeah, I think we're at that age where like our parents are getting older, so some of us have lost parents, but we're living right between needing to take care of our parents and our children simultaneously, and we're not the first generation to do that. But like I think what you said, it just starts to set in like, oh shit, like this is like life is finite, and
Yeah.
so
I think they
yeah.
call us like they call it like a sandwich generation because like I mean I have two children, one's 7, one's 3. So I had children like later. I was 35 when we had our son. and then I was almost 40 when we had our daughter. So we did it late. I mean, my parents were not super young, but like they were 25 and 27 or 28. But like you did that early, and that the grandparents were still very kind of young and active too. Like now it's like sadly, like my father-in-law is not doing the greatest. My aunt just passed away a month ago, and she was like a third grandmother to my kids. Like, so what I'm saying is like it's you're getting from both sides. It's just kind of and you still have to like take care of your children, your family, and you're taking care, like you said, your parents and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's challenging.
It's
Can't
weird
lie.
how fast that goes by. Like I
Yeah,
spent a lot of time, I spent for more than half my life at this point figuring that I would like grow up, do some rock and roll shit, get married, have kids, and somehow like die before I was 25 or something. And ever since we had our first kid, I've spent every moment since then with anxiety, like wondering how can I prolong this? How can I be here as long as possible?
I want to
Uh,
live forever.
yeah, it's a weird feeling to just to be young and to think like, whatever, man, I'll die one day and like I'm not gonna sweat it, to think like, shit, one day I'm not gonna be here and I will be missing things.
Yeah,
Like
it
it's a
sucks.
it's a weird feeling to think through all the time.
It's heavy. And you said anxiety. I don't think I've ever suffered from anxiety like I do like in its current form in my life today.
Oh,
Trying to be there for them all the time. Like I joke now. Like I have a job that like so this is my third time back at the same radio station. Um, I always joke that I have some kind of mental illness that I keep going back. Um, but when I went back, I kind of had some, I don't want to say demands, but just kind of like stuff like, I'm like, listen, I coach my son's baseball team. And if I have to leave an hour early, you have to be okay with that. And they were totally cool with it, you know? Um, but just the amount of involvement, and I'm sure you guys are the same way, that, like compared to my parents who like, work was primary, they kind of fit you in when they could. And they weren't like neglectful by any means, but like that was their life. It was like, yeah, I have to work until whatever time it was. Um, but I think this generation kind of is more involved and makes it a point to be there more often than not.
Yeah, I think we're doing better. That's all we can do, right?
Yep.
Let's just try to do a little bit better.
Yeah. But
if my mom ever takes a minute to watch or listen to this, I do remember the baseball game you forgot to pick me up from, because you were busy working.
Damn,
thanks, mom.
bold. Way to use
Just
using your platform to
Yeah.
stick it to mom.
I said that with the safety of knowing she will never hear this.
Yes. No one will. You guys are wasting. You guys have wasted 50 minutes of your lives.
No, that's funny, Chris. I remember like talk about, I got lost on my bike when I was a kid. I thought I knew the back entrance to the park and I didn't, so I just started going and like I got totally lost on my bike. I was gone for like 3 hours and like my mom never even said shit when I walked in the door. She wasn't like, "Where have you been?" She was just like, "What's up, kid?"
You're like a dog. You're like a dog
Yeah.
who's found his way home.
It's a very different world, I think, when we grew up, like in that sort of like latchkey kid era. Dude, our kids will never know what that's like.
I
Our
know, I
kids
know.
couldn't get in trouble the way we did. They can't sneak out. There's an alarm sensor and a camera on every corner of this house. They're
Yep.
never gonna get to sneak out, get into trouble the way we used to. They've always got eyes on them. They're always being sort of looked out for.
They'll
Like,
find a way, Chris. Don't you
I,
worry.
I hope they
God, I
do.
hope so,
I hope they
man.
do,
Like,
right?
They
yeah,
will. They'll wear like
they're
they'll wear like a green screen suit, like
like
dump the
I envision
footage,
that.
make it just look like nothing happened.
Like and I know it's not, mileage may vary up from parent to parent, but like I have like given the kids or like a Bic lighter and a pocket knife and be like, go outside, be a kid, go get into a little bit of trouble, not a lot, but a little
Yeah.
bit, go have fun. And they're like, we'll just stay inside and hang out with you.
Yeah.
Like kids, like it's just a different time now. It's bizarre to watch unfold, but.
It's bizarre. It is. It's bizarre.
What if he came home and said, I ripped a bong and I stabbed somebody? What are you gonna do then, Chris?
You're finally living your life, buddy. Proud of you, dude. You know
Yeah,
where that weed came from, though, right? Like you didn't smoke some stranger's weed.
you got it from the dispensary, right?
Yeah. They've been putting weird shit in weed these days. You gotta be careful.
Yeah. That's a scary thing though too. Like they talk about like drugs back in the day versus like, they're being laced with fentanyl now. It's like
Yeah, that's
uh,
sketchy. I'd rather get it from a dispenser if you're gonna get it. At least you know
or
it's not got
I'd rather
fentanyl
my
in it.
kids not even, try it.
Yeah, true.
It's like Jesus. I don't know. Well,
If
it's
your
getting late.
7-year old smoking weed, you better
Oh
go.
yeah. I I had before he was born, I had like I'm not good at that. I've attempted it a few times. I'm just not good at it.
Same,
Um,
not good at it.
yeah. Everyone laughs at that. I don't
We're
but I'm
pretty
not I'm
like
not
our band's like pretty sober. Like
yeah.
Brian's all the way sober, but we don't do dabble in that stuff. So
Well, I just every time I've done it, I just go to the moon. Every time. And it's just like I get to a point where I always call it's like a cloak that I could feel like descending down upon me. Like it happens, and I was like, it's just over. And it's just like this isn't fun.
yeah,
It
I've had
lasts
some
too long.
paranoia. That's usually how it manages. It depends. It depends on the situation, but that's what keeps me away from it because it's like I don't want to have paranoia in the middle of being somewhere.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable to me.
Well, yeah, when you have kids and stuff like that too, it's like I don't want to be.
Yeah, of course.
You wake up and you're like, oh,
Where am I?
I don't even take Tylenol. Like
I don't.
I can drink a handful of watery beers and leave it at that, and everything else I just yeah, like you I think you said it, like I just don't need it. I don't want it. I don't need it.
Yeah,
For what it's worth, I'm probably scared of it. Like I don't need to get that far outside of my own head.
yeah, it's funny. Well, it's getting late. I don't want to keep it too long. If listeners take one thing away from You Are Not Alone, what do you hope that is?
I
Brian.
think just we hope that listeners just realize that it's going to sound cheesy, but that they are not alone. That there's other folks out there. If you're feeling down or frustrated or confused or angry or anything at the world, there's other folks out there. We are some of those folks. And just the world's better with you in it, and like find your people.
Love that.
I guess there's no need to elaborate on that, right?
No, I don't think so.
All right, a few rapid fire questions, and then I'll let you go. First punk show you ever went to? Start with Steve.
I saw a hardcore band called Warzone at a warehouse called the PWAC in Long Island. So that was the first ever. Yeah.
Brian's thinking. He's like,
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, I think the first punk show I ever went to was one that I played with my high school. My high school band was called Dr. Pud, um, and we played at the local teen center with two other bands called Jose Doe and Officer Friendly, and that was my first punk show, and I happened to play it. Punk being a loose word there because it was just learning how to play drums, so maybe not like what you would think of a standard punk band, but we put on the show ourselves. We made our own flyers, all that kind of stuff. So in that regard, it was a punk show, and that was my first one. And I was, 15 years old, and I've been hooked on it since then, which was a long time ago.
Dude, that lineup sounds like a wacky morning DJ group. Dr. Pud and what was it?
Dr. Pun and Jose Doe.
That sounds like a skit.
Yeah.
I think I think the earliest thing I can remember is like a house show in the basement of in Old Town Alexandria. I grew up with this kid, and I used to go hang out at his house, and I was getting into music, but I hadn't really been to shows yet, and I went over there, and his band was practicing, but it kind of turned into like another band coming over, and like a bunch of people showing up, and it kind of just turned into a good old-fashioned basement show. Um, I can't even begin to think of what year that was. I was probably third, 14, maybe. Um, it's good times.
Are you worried about your kids not experiencing stuff like that now too? Like we said
No,
before.
because they are so heavily involved in music
Nice.
because I make them, and they enjoy it. But I mean, what I hope, they're experiencing it and they're coming along with us, like when we have local shows and things like that. But what I really hope to see them do is get into their own thing and like I would love to see them start a band with their friends and just be in the basement making noise. I am not trying to necessarily push that, but I am trying to encourage and support it without being too much of a dorky, pushy parent.
Right.
Um,
Let them kind of find their way, right?
yeah, they're getting into music in their own right, and they're
Good.
playing instruments, and hopefully that brings them down the same path. Because I mean, I've met some of the best friends I've ever had because of music.
Yeah.
So I wasn't talking about you, Steve. I was looking at Brian.
Dream band to tour with. They could be alive, dead, no longer together, whatever.
Dream band to tour with. Uh, Honestly, like I don't know if I was a big fan of the Hives when they hit in like early late 90s, early 2000s, and they're back, and I would love to go on tour with the Hives, and they would put us to shame. Their stage show is like the best there ever was, so you should go. If you've never seen them,
Okay.
I guarantee you, best show ever.
Yeah. I could imagine that's true. Brian,
Brian.
uh,
Pretend
geez.
to be frozen.
Am I frozen? No.
No, no, you said you pretended to be frozen.
we lost Brian.
Oh, no. I mean, I think from a purely selfish standpoint, um, I would probably say someone like They Might Be Giants, just to get to watch them every night. Their Our band would not match their style, obviously, at all, but they're one of my favorite bands, and just to watch them play every night would be super fun.
Okay.
I'm gonna say strung out.
Okay.
That was the
Uh,
most succinct answer you've ever given, Chris. Good job.
no.
Dude, I've been trying to get better at that, and I'm not like this is my notes. I have like 10 bands written on here for questions like this. Like I can never pick. Um,
It's all right. Um, what do you prefer? Vinyl, cassette, CD, or streaming?
Ooh. For convenience streaming for large art format vinyl.
I hate vinyl. I hate it. It's so
Yeah, I
stupid.
have a bunch of it, and I'm starting to not love it as much as I once did.
Guys, we're putting out a record. We're putting
I
out
know, no,
vinyl,
no.
guys.
I put on vinyl at home, like when I'm making dinner, or doing chores or whatever. But obviously in the car, and which is where I probably consume most music. It's streaming, unfortunately, but it's just the convenience of it.
Yeah.
I do not have a record player in this room anymore. It's actually upstairs in Loki's room, my younger son, along with a handful of my records. And having said that, I'm still buying records. I think it's a lasting form. Um, and I'm a sucker for like loud color looking vinyl, man. And some of the first shit I like first music I ever heard was on vinyl, and I think there's a nostalgia to that I can't get away from.
I mean, I think vinyl's cool in the sense of what you said, the color of the actual vinyl, all the art that's inside of it, that's super cool. That's why I liked CDs when I was growing up. And I think I was buying CDs still up until even the year after my son was born. And I realized I was going to the record store to buy CDs and I would just buy it. I wouldn't even go there on a mission. I would just like buy something random based on the cover art or whatever. And I'm spending $200 a month. I'm like, this is financially irresponsible as a father. And that's when I stopped. Um, but yeah, I mean, I like having something physical. My CD collection, even when I was buying CDs, I would come home, put it on my computer, and then transfer it to my iPod for convenience in the car. But I was still buying CDs just because I liked having that physical part of it. And then
Have you
buying them
Yeah.
at
gotten rid
shows.
of any?
No.
What do you say?
Like I have 2,000 CDs in my basement. Like, what am I supposed to do with them?
Well, that's why I hate vinyl too. It's big. It's it's kind of I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know. There's something special about having a collection. My dad got this is my therapy couch. Here we go. My dad got rid of my CDs at a garage sale. He sold the whole box to somebody for $10. And
Oh,
I and it was like 80. Probably I probably had more, but it was 80 or so CDs in this box. And he sold it for about $10. I look back on it. I was so mad in the moment, but I'm like, maybe that kid like discovered something that changed his life. So like maybe it was a positive thing because they would just be sitting in my attic. So it's
Yeah.
probably better that somebody else got to learn or discover something from it.
I had a huge DVD collection. I still do, but I started selling some off during a yard sale that our development that I live in has, and I kind of regret that now. Granted, like they're still in the garage and in these this tall stack of boxes. I have not taken any out since then, but like I like think about it, and what if like one day it'd be fun to just go through them with my kids,
Yeah.
not have to like this unlimited access to uh, you know, stuff on a screen where you have to actually like be thoughtful and go through them and look at the art and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
we got rid
Yeah.
of a lot of our DVD collection years ago when Amazon was like doing their buyback stuff, and we kept like the most important ones, whatever that means. But we kept a handful, and I think Amazon was doing like between $1 and $5 per DVD, depending on what it was. So I kind of feel like we got out of our DVD game while we still could.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Last one, and it's finish this sentence. We'll start with Chris since he's been going last. We'll give Steve a break. Punk rock is.
Ninja Turtles.
Okay. I like that. That is, yeah.
I try to answer as quickly as possible.
Did you ever see like they were going around like doing a tour, like a live, like not a Broadway thing, like a live like band like type of thing like back in the day.
Like with Vanilla Ice.
Well,
I
they did that. They performed like, not with him, but maybe he was he there? I don't remember. I was such a young kid. But
Ninja
yeah,
Rap, right? It wasn't
yeah,
like that
yeah.
the whole there was a
there
whole
was
video.
there was a whole album. So my grandmother used to take me to Pizza Hut in Alexandria when I was, whenever that was, like when I was like 8 or 9, like maybe 89-ish. And you would go to Pizza Hut and get your personal pan pizza,
Yep.
and you would like they had like all the turtle like swag there, like the cups, like the plates, all of that shit. And one of the things I got was their album, and it was called Turtle Power. It was like a rock record, and it was awesome.
I listened to it probably 2 or 3 years ago, taking my son to daycare.
Hell yeah.
It
See,
was awesome.
Damn. I thought the
it's
California Raisins were a band. I didn't realize they were covering songs.
There's a YouTube clip of that Turtles live show, but it's to like a beat down hardcore song. Um, so it's just like, Baxter Stockman doing his little dance and the Turtles playing riffs, and it's like never back down. And it's just, yeah, it's like dubbed to it. It's really good.
oh my God, is it to throw down?
It might be, yeah.
They're like never back down, never give up.
Yeah, yeah, it's that
Yeah.
song. Yeah, you
Yeah,
should look
hell
for it.
yeah.
It's really funny.
Oh, I'm Googling that as soon as we
Yeah,
hang up here.
Dude, there's a lot of great messaging in that.
yeah.
I mean, think about TGIF or TGI Friday, whatever the hell it was called back in the day. It's good quality life lessons learned in those shows. Boy Meets World, Step by Step, Family Matters. I'm missing one. It was four.
Alf.
Full House was the first
Full
one.
House, Full
Full
House.
House.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Belvedere. He always had some good advice.
That wasn't TGI.
That wasn't
That was like
TGIF. Get
I'm
out of
80s.
here.
just saying, but it's still like old school TV.
Yeah.
Go ahead, make your kids watch Mr. Belvedere. See how that goes.
Not well. Brian,
Yeah.
punk rock is blank.
Uh, Punk rock is important to me. Um, yeah, it's like I said, my first punk show was when I was 15 years old, and I'm much older than that now. And it's just really, um, shaped my life, and made all of my friends, honestly, through this music that I found at a young age. Um, and yeah, it's just been important to me.
Cool.
I think punk rock is community. I think like going back to when I was younger, like I saw bands and then their friends were making their merch and then people were making the flyers, shooting photos, taking video. I noticed like this is not just a band performing. There's like this relationship going on. And so uh since I've been going to shows for decades now. Like I've always been part of that community, not just somebody who takes from that community, but I like to give back to it. So whether it's by performing, doing artwork, putting on a show, helping out our friends that say, "Hey, can you help us in a couple months when we come through town?" Like I do my best to try to fit some of that stuff into my life still to this day, as hard as it can be in
Yeah,
my mid 40s. But yeah, community.
I love that. Very cool. American Television, new EP, September 19th. You're not alone. Best of luck with it. I'm not going to ask you your social handles because, I mean, just Google it. Go on Facebook, type it in, right? You don't have to be like, oh, this one's at this and this one's at that and whatever. American Television, new EP. You're not alone. Best of luck.
Thanks, Popko.
And
Thank you
thank you
so much.
guys. Thank you guys.
Yep.
All right, see ya.
Thanks.